everyone thought that Zelda was the guy with the sword, the elf with the sword.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but
We're
Zelda's
live.
actual the princess. Oops, sorry. Go ahead.
Now you're good. We're live. I just want to let you know. So, you guys, I got to tell you, it's been a while. Let me get over to chat. Um, so I've been running another channel as well as this one, and I pulled away from this one for a little bit. Let me make sure I'm live over on YouTube before I get rolling too much here. I see Emily there. I think we're live.
Let me make sure I'm live.
Oh, shoot. I got to go over. Yep.
Too much here.
I got to mute it.
I see Emily there.
How do I do it? This is how all my lives start.
Let me make sure I'm
Oh, shoot. I got to go over. Hold on. I'm like 2 seconds away from the button. I hear you too, Emily.
This is how all my lives start. Let me make sure I'm. Oh, shoot. I got to go over.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm like 2 seconds away from the button.
Okay, it's you, Adrian. You've got to mute YouTube somehow.
I got a mute.
Nope, it's me.
Oh,
It's me. I figured it out. I had an extra YouTube window open. Oh my God. What a difference. Dang, that was crazy. Welcome to the House of Insanity. Can I help you, please? How do you plead? Welcome back, everybody, because we've got 6 watching. So, you guys, I want to tell you a little story, and then I'm going to introduce my special guest here. So before we get going on what are the chances, where we talk about this case involving something very serious, which is the missing summer wells. We need to just get real. We need to really dig in, and we need to get somewhere. And up to this point, I really haven't felt like we could gain any ground until I stumbled upon a bit of information the other day, and I think legitimately we may have a way to gain some ground on another avenue, looking at the Summer Wells case from a different perspective. And with that, I need fresh eyes, and I need your guys' eyes, the truthers, because you guys are analytical and you know how to really focus in on the case itself. And with that, I would like to tell you a cute story, just kind of bring you up to speed. So, I've been in my house for like 3 months. I'm working from home. I have another channel I'm doing, which is 1111 Tarot. True crime tarot. Say that really fast, All right. And I'm on there almost every single night, 8 p.m. live. And we do tarot cards and we do readings. But I don't leave my house except to get supplies because I work from home and everybody's sick around me. And as you can hear, I have a little bronchitis, so I don't leave my home. So anyway, my neighbor boy came up to a friend of mine at the Christmas party last night at the school and was like, "Is she okay in there? Because we don't ever see her leave her house. Like she sneaks out like once a week and comes right back and she doesn't leave anymore." She's like, "That's because she's a YouTuber." And he's like, "Oh, she must be working from home then." She's like, "Yeah." He goes, "We were starting to get worried." I'm like, "Oh my God." So no, I've been doing YouTube, you guys, but I'm doing a lot of different avenues. So with that, you guys, I wanted to talk about the Summer Moon Utah Wells case, the 5-year-old missing from Tennessee. And believe it or not, in 2009, okay, her aunt, Rosemary Bly, went missing too. Both vanished without a trace. So, Mr. Jack Dawes, hi, how are you?
I'm doing great.
So, what do you think about that fact? So, you have a missing 5-year-old from Tennessee who went missing June 15th this past year, 2021. 5 years old, blue-eyed, blonde hair. Okay? Not a trace. Poof, gone. 2009, 10 years ago, or 11 years ago. How's that go? Yeah, 11 years ago.
Yeah.
Whatever. Her aunt went missing, but are you ready for this?
Yeah.
From Wisconsin.
Oh, from my home state, huh?
Not far from where I live. What are the chances of that, you guys? Now, Jack, you've known me for years, and you know I've studied the RD case, and I've studied the Christine Rudy case and some of the other cases.
Yeah.
It's because they were always near Wisconsin that I could sink my teeth into it. And actually, like when it came to Christine Rudy, I could get boots on the ground and I could go there and interview people that knew her, that knew Sean Rudy, her husband, and really dig into the case. Well, what was that?
My favorite sound.
What's that?
A good PBR. Oh.
So from Wisconsin, Marie Bly goes missing from, I believe it was St. Croix en route to Cushion. She's supposed to meet family, right?
Yeah.
For like a night out on the town. Her and her husband are having issues. We know that. Now, 3 weeks after she goes missing, the husband files for divorce and sole custody of the children.
Really?
What are your thoughts? Yeah.
How long ago did he do that? A week before?
No, 3 weeks after she goes missing, he files for sole custody of the children and files for divorce.
3 weeks after. That doesn't. I don't know. It. If it's after, you would think something like just trying to get his kids out of whatever care they're in, because
But why file for divorce? Your wife's only missing.
now that would be a little extreme. I think is the divorce. The kids thing. You gotta do something, because otherwise the system will take them. There's a lot going on, especially a missing person. Um, but to put it in paper and the divorce, it's a little off.
So the news is, this is what I've been like boiling over to tell you, is that there's a very strong rumor. So there's nothing solid, like tangible, that says this, but it has been rumored that a serious friend of Summerwell's mother, Candace, has told some YouTuber that Candace told her that her sister, Rosemary Bly, is buried in the cement driveway in Cushion, Wisconsin.
That's crazy if that's true. Like, that's exactly where they're all going, isn't it? Where the trail leads or whatever.
No, not really. I mean, she went missing heading to Cushion, but I mean, it would have been, from my understanding, it would have been Candace was in the front. Okay, let me back it up. Allegedly, the friend is saying that Candace told them that it's buried under her own old driveway.
I don't know, that for a driveway, depending on how they did it, it wouldn't be thick enough for a body to lay, would it?
Yes, because you just dig it and then you pour it.
Right. But there's a way to do that, is you leave the middle of the concrete up a little bit, and then you pack down the very inside edges so that you have almost like a dent in the cement on the bottom side of the cement.
Okay, but like think about the
Just look under that.
okay, Crystal Rogers. She went missing in 2010, wasn't it? No, 2015. I had to jog my memory. She went missing on July 3rd, 2015. Now the FBI is back over there, and her wretched, oh my God, this wretched guy
Yeah.
who's all entangled in the cops. They're digging his driveway. They just got done digging his driveway completely up. Like, I mean, they burrowed through it because of that theory.
Well, there, Emily's got a good point. They do have optical lenses that could just drill a hole and, or X-rays even, something to look through concrete. But
So, from my understanding, when I was listening to Missing But Not Forgotten, which I love her channel, by the way, so a big shout out to her. Please go sub. She was saying allegedly that there are investigators now truly looking into that scenario. And oh my God, would that possibly, I mean, how would that affect the Summer Moon Utah Wells case? I mean, if it turned out that that was even a possibility, that they found that there was serious foul play connecting any of the Wellses to her, oh my God.
oh, I don't even know what to say to that. Uh, that would be mind blowing. Yes, it would be very mind blowing.
It would blow the case completely out of the water.
Oh man.
So now Summer Wells' dad has like a large amount of charges pending against him. Apparently, allegedly, there are sexual assault charges that are being filed by multiple females in his, from sisters to stepsisters or something like this, all family members in Utah that are all pending, that are from back when he was younger. Now, the neighbor, Jody Sue, she claimed at one point, I heard her state, this summer came out of the shower, and she would have been 4 or 5 years old, completely naked with her father. And he himself reported that the last morning he saw Summer Wells, she was in his bed. But we've also had reports that the mother and father don't even sleep together. What's your take on all that?
That's a little weird for, I mean, some kids still sleep in their parents' bed, but I don't know.
I mean, a 5-year-old girl showering completely naked with her father.
I mean, it's a parental thing, right? Some people believe in not having your child naked at 2 years old to take a shower with them. Some people take showers with them while they're 5, 6.
Okay,
But 5 or
same
6,
sex.
I believe, should be
Same
definitely
sex.
a cutoff. You know.
But you
'Cause
believe even opposite sex. I mean, think about it. The father has got pending sexual assault cases of
oh,
okay, so let me back up. I got to give you the backstory. Hold
yeah,
on.
yeah.
So the father, okay, so the father of Summer Wells, this is factual, okay, has charges pending of him being in his teenage years sexually assaulting very young 5 to 8-year-old sisters and other relatives. Multiple. Not, as Emily says, not one who has been accused of sexual assaults, but sexual assaults.
Sequel assaults. That's one right after another,
Right.
right?
Sexual.
Oh,
She
okay.
meant sexual.
Got it. Okay. If he's been charged with something like that, that's definitely something to look into. He should know that he could possibly be in a lot of trouble over something like that.
Well,
And
yeah.
I would, if I was in trouble like that, I would have stopped doing anything that would involve me or my
He
kids
wasn't.
being
He
naked, pretty
wasn't
much.
in trouble. He wasn't in trouble till after Summer went missing for that, because the family felt like with Summer going missing right at the same age as the sexual assault victims, alleged sexual assault victims, were 5. So they got triggered by Summer's disappearance and decided to come forward and tell their story, which has now got charges pending allegedly against Donald Wells. Okay.
Yeah.
So they accuse him of sexually assaulting them at very young age. We know there's at least a 7 to 8 age year difference where he's older than these people, these sisters. So on Alive, I heard him answer the question about this, and he answered that Jesus Christ, he was only about 12 or 15 years old. He was just a kid, for God's sakes. The problem is, if you take 12 and you subtract 7, you have a 7-year-old. So a 15 and a 7-year-old, and he's admitting to it.
Yeah.
So now take that context from his own mouth, and he's being seen getting out of the shower naked with Summer before she goes missing.
I mean, right here, Emily's got a good point. It says she would never allow her daughter to take a shower with her husband, and I completely agree with that. I wouldn't be that way either. Even with my son,
No.
you bathe them first, and then you go take your own shower.
Yeah.
Um, and him with so many assaults that he, if he didn't do it, he should have thought about it. If he did do it, then I hope they find something. Unfortunately and fortunately.
Well, now when you look at the case, you have to go back to the time. What were the pressures? What was being pressured that would answer the why is Summer missing? Like, even if an accident happened, or if somehow this child got hurt really bad, but why is she physically missing? And you have to look at the pressures and realize that CPS, Child Protective Services, was fully involved in that family and investigating that family.
Well, the biggest thing is to keep somebody quiet. Obviously, children always tell the truth. I mean,
Okay, so
he
that's
could
a
have been
good
in a lot
point.
of trouble.
Okay, so if you really look at that being a thing, that this child is to be kept quiet, now you got to remember another new thing that happened at the time that Summer went missing was they had just joined a church. So she's starting to form intimate, bonded relationships where she was trusting people. She was alone with other adults where she might be able to start talking.
Oh,
And if she's able to talk, what is she going to communicate? Is that possibly another concern or another um, risk, if you will, that makes you wonder what's going to happen to Summer when she goes to school? So they're enrolling her for school as well. And Corey Zipper puts out, shower with a 4-year-old? No, exactly.
like I said, I completely agree with that. That's not something I would do myself. Um, but I do know good parents out there that do that. Some do need help doing it. You have your
Yeah,
uh,
but Jack, I think what you're saying is the child gets put in the shower and you're like making sure that they spin around, you wash them up, you throw them in a towel. That's not what he did. He showered with them. So I get you. I feel you. You're saying not
right.
with them, but yeah, no, he like came out of the shower right behind the child. They had showered together. And now after Summer quote got gone, okay. I see so many discrepancies in the case, and it's almost as if they're trying to distract us away from what we really need to focus on. I mean, the parents have locked in from day one. The one thing that they lock into is that Summer would never leave the property. She would never. We've taught her, I don't know how many times we told her about the bear and the wildlife and blah, blah, blah. And there's animals out there, and we terrified her. We tried to teach her. We tried. But yet, TBI has found a single footprint on one property of the neighbor, and a quarter mile away, they have another footprint, a single footprint, child size. It's also a bare footprint. Like it's not got a shoe on it. It's a bare footprint, barefoot. And the child size footprint, and the scent dogs alerted to it to be Summer's scent.
So now that's crazy that they have a motorbike in a picture,
Yeah.
and you would use 1 foot to stop.
See that?
So
That's brilliant.
that's one person is driving. Whoever put their foot down was driving. Because if you're hanging over the side, then you got both feet on one side. And if you stop,
Okay,
you're
that
not
would make
touching the
more.
ground, or you have to with both feet.
Well, and that makes so much sense why there would be one footprint.
Right.
Is it, or like you pointed out earlier before we got on the live, what if it's a bicycle?
A bicycle is a very good possibility. Everybody's got one of those. I
And these
mean,
kids had bikes, I promise. Okay, now let me think on this. All right, so we know from the case study that we've done that scent can be transferred. So is it possible that this child had just come in close contact with Summer and therefore her scent was lingering? Or think about it. Is it possible Summer's hurt? There's no parent home. There's no phone. We know they don't have a landline. They don't have their own phones at the time. And they don't have a vehicle. None of them can drive. They're children. If they are home alone, this is my question, and they've got to get help because somebody's injured, could they have had that child with her being so tiny? I mean, she's tiny, and they've got her draped across them, and they're biking across that field, and they've got to pause to get their balance. They put their foot down. Would that have transferred her scent enough that the scent dogs would have hit on that?
I think something in there said it was raining and stuff like that. It was a week later.
It
So,
was some time.
I mean, it was a barefoot, so it's got to have your scent, some kind of scent from you. Um,
Yeah.
what can change that scent? Like, could shoes change that scent? Could nasty socks change that scent, or whatever? But the real point is that um, being a week later, I don't know if they would have gotten much of a scent out of it anyways, being
Well, they did.
outside and in the dirt.
The dogs alerted it's Summers. Now, here's the thing. You made a really good point because you mentioned about socks and shoes and all that, how that could change it. But this is a bare footprint. So this means that this had to be Summer's print because they can't fake it. There's no shoe that's going to look like her footprint. There's no sock that's going to leave her footprint. So being it's a bare footprint, now the question comes to my mind, is it before she went missing or after?
Maybe that's what was leading to the kidnapping. That's really hard to say.
Yeah, and they said they can't release, or they couldn't determine what direction the footprints were going in. But like Emily's saying, the neighbor got divorced right after this happens. She made a big bunch of TikToks. And what's interesting is she sold the property too and moved away, where the footprint was on the edge of her property.
I could only think of a couple reasons. Is some people are traumatized. They could move away, try to get away from that area. Everybody tries to get away from bad stuff, or it could point to themselves, you know.
knowing something. It
Yeah.
could be a mixture. It could be that something that they know or found out traumatized them. But are they protecting like the brothers or something? Because this is a child's footprint out in that field. That missing child's foot, being a bare footprint, had to have hit the corner of their property. And we've got both of these parents, Candace and Dawn. The only thing, and I go back to the beginning of this live, that they've even been able to stick to the same storyline is that Summer Wells never left that property. Ever, 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 never. Wouldn't. No way. And yet TBI's looking at a footprint, not only in Jody Sue's backyard or backfield, but a quarter mile away, we have another single footprint of Summer Wells. And no other prints around it.
That just makes my bicycle theory or motorcycle theory a lot more
Strong.
stronger. Yeah. Like there's no other prints other than that foot, which
Okay.
makes it even weirder.
Yeah. It's somebody putting their foot down holding up a bike.
Where's the wheel marks?
Would there be if it's grassy? A
There
footprint I could get.
there would be some
Because
kind
you
of
put,
trail.
okay, think of this. If you're holding, not necessarily though.
I
My
suppose it
boys,
was a week later.
think about this. If it's not a well-traveled path, like my backyard was not used by my kids very often. They always came the driveway. But we had a storm and my son had to take that back path with his bike. His I think it was a mountain bike, right? He came whipping through the yard. Yes, the grass laid down for a day or two.
It was right
By
back
the
up.
third, yes, by the third day, the grass was all back up. But you know what? The one spot where his feet hit the ground solid left a heel print.
Well, they did that motorcycle that they had in that picture. Those were some wide wheels. I mean, they wider wheels cover more area. They could have easily dropped the grass and come right back up, unless it's been sold.
I got to make a correction just in case I'm wrong here. So I said that her Jody Sue's property had been sold. Now Emily is saying that her husband stayed unless it's been sold recently. So in case I said that wrong, just don't quote me. We're just having, discussions here. So, but make sure and correct me or Jack if we say something wrong. Let us know so we can correct it right away.
Yeah.
But just don't quote me, but do correct me. So yeah, I feel like with the case, there's some very disturbing things. One thing came to mind was that Dawn Wells and Candace have stated so many times over and over, and I'm sick of hearing it, about how they would be yelling at these young boys, these three brothers who are what, 7, 8, and 10 or something, you know, where's Summer? I mean, I can hear it in my head like a broken record. Where's Summer? I told you, you gotta watch her. You can't leave her out there alone. Go get Summer. And it's this broken record. And they even, when they repeat it, they're even sick of telling the story. Because you and I know, Jack, there's blame transfer here.
Yeah, that's. I mean, to know a situation like that, you really have to be there before that recording, I guess. But that's unless she knew something, you know.
Yeah. I feel like the fact that the mother is reported by dispatch to be on a quote run, but she can't even jog. So I'm thinking errands, whatever you want to call errands, right? So she's on a run using her car to run errands. Dad has eyewitness that at least for some part of the day, he's at work. Grandma is stating that she's laid down to take a nap. That only leaves 3 boys and Summer, right? So he has the dad, the father, He's given the kids pocket knives. He's given them motorbikes. You know, how do we know that it wasn't like one of them had some sort of like bow and arrow and they're just messing around in the field with their motorcycle or their bike, and Summer comes traipsing up behind them and they accidentally shoot her? None of us know, because all we know is the little tiny area that's being like even investigated. But one thing we do know is when the father said, and he did this all himself, that came out of his mouth, he said he went directly to the funky shed by the creek where the kids play. I've heard him out of his own mouth state that he and them boys, all of them, knew to always stay together. Always. Never go alone. Always had to be together to go down there. So right there, they're leaving the yard. The first place he goes is where those boys play, down at the creek. He says first thing he saw was his boys all together, right there. Then he said he looked over and he points to the other way and he says, I seen my neighbor, and he makes it like monumental. His voice inflects at, you can tell it cracks at that moment. That's when I knew something was wrong. Very, very wrong. And so you kind of know at that moment, no matter who you are, something triggered that man right there. Now the question is that the neighbor, Jody Sue?
That's
The
a
one
very
with
good
the
question.
footprint, with the footprint in the back porch.
Definitely makes you think about it.
Hey, Jennifer. Jennifer says he has 7 alibis and Candace has none. True. The father reports having 7 alibis. Hey, Wobbler, how are ya? Say hi to Jack.
Hello. Nice to meet you.
Emily says, I really thought she was dead with that milk jug picture. Those things were purposely propped to hold her up. It looked it.
Oh,
Oh, you haven't seen the milk picture.
no, I have not.
Okay, hold on. We got to learn to share desktop, Adrian. So give me or Jack.
All right.
So give me a minute to figure out. Yeah. Let me see if I can grab you that milk pitcher.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. Looks like she was purposely propped up, huh?
Oh, wait. You have just started
Yeah, I'm
this
good.
case.
Thank you.
have just started this. All I got to do is go to Google and type Summer Wells milk pick. I kid you not. I'm waiting on my computer to catch up, though. And then I'll try and share my desktop on the StreamYard outfit here so
Okay.
you can see. You're going to have so many questions. It's
Yeah.
actually a video, and this is just one frozen frame of the video, okay?
Okay.
Let me get a good one. Here's one where they actually have it here. Let me see if it'll load. It's from the Rogersville Review, which is a newspaper. And it talks about EquiSearch aiding the search for summer this weekend. And let me get on to the picture. Maybe. Here it comes. Nice and slow. There we go. Okay, now I got to go back to StreamYard. And I'm going to push us to the side. Hit share. Share screen. Okay. I suppose I got to choose which screen. Wobbler says, yo, Jack. Hope you're well, my brother.
I'm doing all right. Thank you.
Okay, here we go.
Nice to meet you.
Window. So the day Summer went missing, this was the last known picture of her, but it's actually a video. But I can't play it while I'm on a live. It would crash my computer. Probably my computer's old. So I'll just grab you a picture of it if it shows up. See, this is why I personally like to use OBS, but I'm waiting on Quentin to come home and set it up for me because I knocked it out using StreamYard. And so StreamYard is a quick way to do a live, yes, but it's very slow. Like the lag and just it's stuttery. Like right now, I can get my entire screen, but I just want a window, so I'm waiting on the system. Are you there?
I am still here, yeah.
Okay. I don't know if I'm connected. Sometimes I could get kicked off.
Well, don't get kicked off. I don't know what to tell these guys.
So cool to see you guys, Jennifer and Emily. You would be left to entertain them.
Yeah.
So the backup story, if I can even get this picture to come up. It's just bizarre that I can't. I'll try a Chrome window. So apparently, oh, that's what I needed to do anyway. Okay, I got it coming. So apparently, they went swimming at a little like frog level hole, some fishing hole that like horses drink out of. It's really disgusting. Mother said it was covered in garbage, and she let Summer swim in it.
Oh.
Yeah, for real.
That's bad parenting right there.
All right. So Summer goes swimming in that, and then they leave there, and then there's no mention of feeding this child all day long, except for one time going to get a slushie after swimming in the nasty hole. Now, then they went and got groceries. Now, a 15-year-old named H, we'll call him H to protect his privacy. Okay.
Yeah.
H is 15 at the time. He's a family friend. He's been picked up. He's along for the trip. Grandmother Candace, so we'll call her Grandis or Candy, which she hates being called Candy, but hey, start talking if you want me to quit calling you Candy. But anyway, they all go to the grocery store and leave Summer in the car and pick up milk and butter and cheese and whatever you have. Okay?
She looks.
On the
Is
way
that
home,
the
this is the
picture?
picture from the video that they took. Yeah. Can I make it bigger?
No, I
That's
can
what
click
he
on
said,
it.
or that's what she said. Okay, hold on. I'm actually going to make it bigger because then they can see it bigger too, maybe. Did it work? Did I do
And this
anything?
is coming home from the grocery store.
Ooh, I made it way too big. Yep. So I made it way too big. Hold on, y'all. That did not work. Don't do that. Note yourself. Do not attempt to resize picture. Okay,
There you
that's the
go.
best we can get. I can do. Okay, so where'd it go? Did it
Okay.
disappear?
I can still see
There
it.
it is. I'm working it, girls. I'm working it. Hey, TTM fan girl.
So
Hey, Sandra, smell lovely.
I don't know that.
What do you see wrong with this picture as a parent? How? Let me tell
Well, the
you.
strap across the
About
shoulder.
the same age. That's all we're going to reveal. All right. So, okay. That's
It's
all
really
you
hard
can
to
see
tell
that bothers you about the
because
picture?
I mean the milk, but
Okay, it's a hot day and the windows are up and there's no air conditioner. It's over 80 in the car.
She could have passed out from heat exhaustion
That's a
then.
fact.
If somebody were
She'd been in the
to
car
prop
for an
them up with
hour.
the seat belt in there, the seat belt across her shoulder would have been there. She obviously moved that behind her herself.
Or okay.
I mean, what happens when you pull that
What
seat
else?
belt
What
over your
else draws
shoulder?
your attention? It would prop you up, right? Well,
I
it would be
mean,
around her neck. I have a question. If the child is sleeping, okay,
yeah.
why would her chin not be tipped down toward that milk where she would be resting? Why does she look stiff as a board?
And how would she fall asleep that fast? They just got done grocery shopping. They put it all in the vehicle. How long was this into the ride home? Was this just after they? Yeah,
This video was taken at 3:09. We know that they went through Walgreens or something like that at like 12 something.
right. But I
So
mean,
in there, they went to get a slushie.
yeah,
They went swimming. But I mean, literally, think about this. Like, if you look at her head, okay, sincerely, and think of your little guy sleeping in the back seat, sitting there, okay?
yep.
If he was asleep, if he is asleep, his chin, his sternum and his chin will not be aligned stiff because the natural weight of his body would relax and his chin would tip towards that low shoulder naturally in the sleeping position. It would give a crooked neck.
Hmm. I suppose. I don't think. Yeah, I was thinking that too. Is the cold milk jug that they'd be sleeping on? How like that's one of my questions. Is how far into the ride was this? Was the milk warm enough? I mean, you don't
I
just
don't
fall
know.
asleep on a milk jug like that. That would, especially by your temple, that would just be really cold.
I went and got my milk jug out of my fridge and held my hand on it as long as I could. It gets bitterly cold, honestly.
Right. Or like cold water on a wound. Or brain freeze. That's a good one. Brain freeze.
Yeah. What else do you see wrong with this picture?
Well,
Can you blow it up on your end?
she's sitting in the middle of the seat, so anything underneath that box is holding that box up,
Yeah,
and the milk jug is just holding it from keeping it from falling that way.
for real. Okay, now I want you to zoom into her seatbelt. The one across her stomach.
Okay.
Do you see that red on her pink outfit?
I do, excuse me.
You do?
I do not see red on a pink outfit.
Okay, let me see if I can find a way to blow it up for you. I would have to open another program. Let me see if I can do it. I have so many programs opened already. I just don't want it to freeze. But if you look at the seat belt, beneath it, right under it, between her hand that's on her lap and the seat belt, you'll see a deep, dark, shadowy red color that's absorbed into her pink jacket.
Okay.
Do you see that?
Hmm. Hasn't changed yet. It just needs to load.
No, I'm
No,
asking you if you can enlarge it to see that.
No, I've got no. I don't know how to.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't.
I don't know if it'll even open this other program because I've got like YouTube streaming, StreamYard
Right.
streaming, Google
Well, you got a
going.
bottle of no caffeine soda, and it looks like it's been drank out of.
So what are you thinking?
Passed out, poisoned,
Why'd you think of poisoned?
because she has the strap sitting behind her. So if she was poisoned, she just felt
Not
uncomfortable.
poisoned
She
though.
moved it behind her.
Okay. Good theory. I follow you. I'm still trying to work this other program.
That's why she would pass out on a milk carton too. I mean, that's cold. Like I said, just for me, it really. How long of a drive do they have? I don't suppose it'd be too long.
I think it was maybe, what was it, you guys? Was it 30 minutes?
Wow, it's a lot longer than I thought it would be.
Or even an hour, maybe?
The video that this picture was taken from was a half hour.
Or something? 8 minutes from home? I can't get the other program to work, so I'm closing it.
Hmm.
When Quentin comes home, he'll be able to do the OBS again for me, and I won't have to use StreamYards, and we can do all kinds of fun stuff. So what bothers me is if you look at, for those of you that are familiar with the case, if I could get this picture to enlarge, I would show you. But by the seatbelt, you can see there appears to be very dark reddish stain right on the edge of the seatbelt between her hand and the seatbelt there. And it's even stained the seatbelt, and you can see where it's, for lack of better words, the stain is bled onto the seatbelt and onto her. So it's not something that was on the outfit prior to her getting to the seatbelt, because it's affecting both the seatbelt and her clothing. Yeah, it won't even, it's locked my system, so I shouldn't have tried to do it. My system's way too old for that. But someday I'm going to be able to afford a fancy one and be able to I could have just done it on my phone, you know. Okay, I'm going to
Yeah, that's
try to close this so it stops sharing.
really leaves a lot of questions. I mean,
Well, I just wanted to get you more familiar with the case. And then the other thing
right?
about the case that bothers me more than the milk pitcher is this timeline is missing the parents, basically. The dad's at work, the mom's on a run, grandma's saying she's napping. Who the hell has Summer?
All at the same time that this video's going on.
No, no. I'm talking like wrapping up the case. Just getting you,
Oh,
because I've dropped that. I can't get that to work.
right.
So I'm just kind of like summarizing, because I kind of wanted to get back to it and be like, okay, now you're a little bit more as we start to dig in together, and go
Right.
forward. And what was your take over what you've got so far? I mean, you've mentioned poisoning, which is, it really does. There is like a huge group of people, including myself, that have went down that road, because you can see candy laying random on the seat. Is that really candy? What's really in that orange crush drink,
Yeah.
right? Is it
It would
alcohol?
it would make more sense than them being propped up, to me anyways. Just because when you wrap a child in a seat belt, it's right across the shoulders. I don't know what parent would purposely take it off unless it really was hurting or damaging the child, I suppose. Um, but poison would have, depending on how fast it
Totally.
acted, she could have put that seatbelt behind her herself, trying to lay down.
So when you say poisoning, okay, I'm feeling what you're saying. So let's go that theory for a minute. Let's talk about poisoning. One of the things that was very weird is what Emily's talking about. So during the video, the mother said that the reason she was wanting the videotape was because Summer had her hands up like her dad does when he sleeps. But in further research, I found that sometimes on a person's last moments of life, their arms will actually raise and fall. Now, think about this. Either story, there is no way her arms were up. Look how pinned that baby's arm is under her. She did not raise that arm.
Yeah, it would have been more on top of the products that she's laying on.
Do you agree?
Yeah, picture video was taken at 3:09. Oh,
Okay. So we're looking at what, 45 minutes? Not even.
that's
Yeah,
about
somewhere
45 minutes. Yeah,
around
close.
45 minutes to an hour.
This picture video was taken 3:09. That's a long ways to drive for
They say, I
groceries.
mean, they're not just going for groceries. They went out swimming.
Yeah,
They went to the doctor appointment because grandma had to go
yeah,
to
they
the
made a day
ER
of
in the
it.
morning. They were picking her up. They were waiting up. They made a day of it. It is confusing because they do say, I mean, you're going to have to really get into the case, but a day off saying the reason he went is because he wanted to go fishing. It was a fishing trip, but nobody takes a pole. And then later we get video of Summer swimming in this nasty, like murky, like watering hole for horses. And the mother talks about the garbage was just everywhere.
That's that's gross. I've swam
I
in some
know.
nasty water, but it's been the river or something
Well, this is a
muddy.
river.
But it
It's a
with
river that,
garbage.
yeah, all over the
I,
ground.
I never had garbage in there in a spot like that.
Uh-uh. No. Would you have let your son do that?
No, not in
Mm,
something like that.
no way. Hey, Corey Sipper, I hope you are well too. Sending my love out to your sister and hope her healing is going well. And to you and Stacy, of course. So yeah, I have a lot of questions on the Summer Wells case. All right, so number one question. Number one question is for me, where was H? I don't want to say his name. I almost did it. Where was this H at the end of the day? Did he really go home? Did he really go over to the Wellses? Was he there when Summer went missing? Did he really see his girlfriend? From my understanding, H was released to go to his father's finally. I did hear an actual interview with his mother, Allie, where it came right out of her mouth that there was a huge change in H immediately following that whole thing with Summer Wells. He didn't want to talk. He pulled within, pulled his energy away, and changed. So to me, do you feel like, Jack, don't you feel like that's a trauma response? Did I lose you?
No, I'm here. My bad. Uh, uh, Definitely sounds like a negative response. That um, man, that's pretty big for that to come out. He pulled away, or has been pulling away that fast, either he could have done it, or he knows something, or knows someone who done it.
Okay.
How many
All right.
alibis does H have?
Well, he was there when they went swimming, and then he was there in the vehicle when they went through the Walgreens drive-through. He was there when they went to the supermarket and got groceries with the milk. A whole rabbit hole we can dig into about where he says he put the milk. He claims to have moved it. But we can save that for another time. But answering your question, he then claims that took him home. Everybody's on the same page that he went home to his mother Allie's, that when he got home, he said he was looking at his phone ads. I know for a fact she was
To me, your mic is cutting out. I don't know what's happening. Can't hear some of what you're
oh, is
saying
it?
there. Yeah.
Okay. Let me check. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Uh-oh. Okay. I'm like, uh-oh, StreamYards is acting goofy. Gotcha. It looks like you're skipping.
See?
Skip-a-loo, my darling. It's me, you guys. It's me. I need better equipment. But anyway, I'll repeat it real quick. Um, I don't even know what I said, to be honest. I forgot. You guys can rewind it and reponder it. But the whole thing is that to answer the question, he gets home from groceries. He says that she was alive the last I saw her, you know? And then he goes in the house apparently. Now, that would have been approximately 2:30 that he left her. And this video, this photograph is 3:09.
So the big question is, was she alive when he left her? He says she was, but there's so many questions about this picture.
Oh, there's so many. We haven't even touched the surface of this picture. Her legs appear to be swollen. You should see. I'll have to do a little thing where I can show you a video, but her little legs are like toothpicks. And in this, it looks like she's got a full pair of snow pants on. And
I
we know
thought
that's
those
not
were like
possible.
I thought those were like those jogging pants, or the what do they call those? Um, those
Stretch
yoga
pants?
pants, or so, yeah, the stretch ones. I thought that's what they look like.
Well, they could be, but there's a lot of pictures and photographs of this child. And if you
Yeah.
take a toothpick, if you look at a toothpick, that's how big her little leg is. So we all can look at this and go, something's wrong here with these legs. They're way too big for her body.
Okay.
She looks like a husky girl in this. This is a petite little toothpick of a girl.
Right.
Right. Right. Leggings,
Leggings.
that's what we're trying to
Thank you,
say.
Emily.
Yeah. Yeah, her Lucky Duck points it out. Her legs almost look wrapped in like something under the pants. Like they look swollen. Her
Mm.
legs are expanded. Her hands are enlarged. Like there's real puffiness, as you can see, swollenness in her hand. And when we really get up close, which I'll do for you, there's actual discoloration around her collarbone, even. But what's so weird is that her aunt goes missing in 2009, completely vanishes in Wisconsin. And then in 2021, Summer vanishes without a trace in Tennessee. Two family members vanish with no trace.
Wow.
Yeah, her lips look purple and shiny like there's lipstick put on for color. Yeah.
Purple lips. That would be a sign of suffocation.
She's got dark nail beds too on the edges.
So who was driving that vehicle?
Apparently,
Poison.
the mother.
Purple lips could have been poison too.
Now, what's interesting is we have found out for fact that H was allowed to drink a twisted tea at the swimming hole. Candace allowed that. Summer's mother allowed the 15-year-old to have the twisted tea.
Yeah. And no sweat.
Yeah, there's no sweat on the baby. There's no sweat on the milk, Adrian.
Yeah,
How
there's
is
no
that possible?
condensation on the milk.
Why? It's 80 degrees, long pants, a sweatshirt,
Yeah, but if it was
no,
hot in the
no air.
vehicle, if it was
Yeah,
hot in the vehicle, you'd have condensation on the milk,
it's not
especially at
though,
80
is it?
degrees.
There's
So it's
no
got to be some
condensation
kind
on
of
the milk.
right. It's got to be colder than 80 degrees in that vehicle. Somebody in the vehicle could have overdosed her with something.
Right. Well, I've enjoyed this first time out doing this with you. I appreciate you coming on. You going to come back and visit us?
Oh, definitely come back. I'd
All right.
like to hopefully find the person that did this.
Yeah, absolutely. Or just find her, for God's sakes. Figure out where she is.
I hope.
Well, now
God
you know to
bless.
start researching the case really good so you could come up and, oh, hey, Sky Z, how are you, love? Yeah, it could be this has got some photoshopping done on it too, because we do know the mother has skills.
Technology is dangerous these days.
For real. All right. Well, I thank you guys so much for coming on. It's been about an hour. And so it's kind of like if I start digging these cases with you guys, maybe we can get somewhere. We don't always get where we need to be, but at least we bring awareness and keep the images of these people up so that they do get seen, and we're contributing to that. And hey, Skyzy, thanks for showing up, lovely. Oh, good. Yeah, thank you, Emily, for participating. Thank you, Lucky Ducky, Jennifer, Sky Z, Jack Dawes, of course, our special guest, which he's going to be coming back. And I think there was a few others. I think we had Sandra Snow, TTM Fangirl, just all of you, Wobla. I love you all. And we'll see you again. I think we're going to try to do this again on Friday. So you'll get two this week. But then after that, I think we'll try Friday at 2:00. Does that sound good?
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you guys for having me. I'm glad I came on.
Absolutely.
Hopefully, I helped a little bit.
I think you did. And I think you'll get familiar with the names. You'll get familiar with the people on here, and it'll get a chance for me to get back on here and really look at different cases. So Thank you guys, and we'll go do some more research on this case and hopefully come back and present some different perspectives, maybe. All right, with that, you guys take care. Thank Jack. Thank
Have a good
you.
night, guys.
Have a good night. God bless you all.